Hello and welcome back to another episode of Crash Test Games. My name is Christian, aka Boba Fett 666567 in EVE Online. Today we are going to walk you through how to build yourself a T5 T5 Abyss running Gila. Now the first thing you're going to need is about 2 billion ISK, and this is for all your parts, your accessories, your drones, your filaments, everything that you're going to need. Second thing you're going to need is a few skills already trained up. So you're going to want your shields trained up, your all of your system management, like electronic systems and such. You want those trained up. You want your missiles trained up to where you can use T2 missiles. You want your drones trained up as best as you can possibly get them, because the more damage you can do with your drones, the better. The more damage your drones can take, the better. I'm still training a few of them myself. Not quite as great of skills as I thought I had with them, but not bad altogether. You're going to want all of your shield and all of your capacitor skills all trained up. You want your CPU management, electric energy grid management, everything that you can train up that is relevant to this, you want it trained up, including shield compensation skills. So I did say just a minute ago that that you're going to want about 2 billion ISK. Now this ship itself, it only ran me about 1.8 billion ISK, and I will show you what's on it here in just 1 second. Alright, so here we go. We've got our Gila pulled up here. Now, if you look here, my capacitor on this ship is not stable, which is absolutely fine by me. The reason being is I run electrical filaments, which gives me additional capacitor and puts me stable at about 45 to 50% capacitor. Now, I run T2 rapid light missile launchers, and then I use the EM Fury light missiles, which have a range of about 32 kilometers and give you about 37.1 damage per second per missile. I have a medium anti-EM screen reinforcer. I have 2 medium capacitor control circuit 2s, and then I have a Pith X-type large shield booster. Now I went with the X-type just because it gives you a little bit better of a shield bonus. But you can go with the lower one. You're just going to have to play smarter if you do. I also have a Gistum and a Pithum C-type adaptive and vulnerability field. I would recommend going for 2 Pithum C-types, as they're only a little bit more expensive and they give you better bonuses. I also only have a Tech 2 shield boost amplifier on here. So as far as that goes, you can upgrade that as well. I plan on upgrading in the future. I have a 10MN Afterburner 2 on here right now, which again, you can upgrade that to Faction or something better in the future as well. I have a Republic Fleet large capacitor battery, and that is simply so that I can maintain this 3.5 minutes when I'm outside the Abyss, and when I'm inside the Abyss, the 45 and 50%. And then I have 3 sentient drone damage amplifiers, and I usually run about 8 of these Imperial Navy infiltrators. However, I wanted to make sure that this fitting would work before I took it into the Abyss, or before I took you guys into the Abyss with it, wasting up to 2 billion ISK of your time and money. So over here, you can see that the overall cost for the ship is 1.8 billion ISK. Again, that's not including any of your filaments or anything like that, not including ammo, and I like to keep a mobile tractor unit in my cargo hold for special occasions as well. So let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty with everything. Now, like I said, you only get 3 minutes and 12 seconds outside of the Abyss before your capacitor is completely drained. That's running all of your invulnerability fields, your shield booster, your afterburner, but your shield booster and your invul fields will run indefinitely without. Okay, maybe it won't run indefinitely. I must have had a change or something happen. Anyways, so you get about 4 minutes before that caps out as well. But it's your afterburner that runs indefinitely. Sorry, guys. All right. Anyway, so yeah, it does run about 1.8 billion. Like I said, let's go ahead and get into damage. You get about 660 DPS with maxed out missile and drone damage skills. Now, as far as this goes, this is the actual DPS, not the applied DPS. The applied DPS is actually a little bit higher, as this ship gets about 750 DPS if I were to be running kinetic weapons. In the Abyss, when you're running the electricals, though, the abyssal ships or the Triglavians are most susceptible to EM damage, and that's just because the electrical storms reduce EM resistances by 50%. Now, if you look over here at our EM or our resistances, everything comes up to above 74%, which isn't terrible. It's a little bit lower than what I would like it to be. Eventually, I'm going to pump a lot more money into this. Currently, I'm just running a little bit low on ISK, so you know I have to worry about what kind of fittings I put on this right now. I don't know if you guys saw my last video. I will have a link at the end of my video here, but I did end up losing my previous Gila, the Camo Turtle, which ran me about I believe I had 8 to 10 billion ISK invested in it. It was really expensive. It really hurt. And to be honest, I just about quit EVE after that. But, you know, I decided that I was going to instead make a comeback from it, and that I was going to help you guys start figuring out how to fit ships out that run the Abyss really well without having to break the bank. And 2 billion ISK, and I understand that 2 billion ISK, that's your month subscription and everything, but compared to compared to my last ship that I was running, it's pocket change. And again, you can get into the T3, T4 Abysses for about 600 million. I'll have that link at the end of the video as well. And if you want to see my previous fitting and my previous ship, I'll make sure to have that link going as well. Anyways, back to the numbers here. We get the 64% EM, which actually only drops down to about 50% EM damage resistance when we're in the Abyss, which is really, really nice. It is, well, honestly, it's better than if you don't have any of these resistances on, which then it drops down obviously to a much, much lower level. If you don't have this reinforcer, I think it drops down from the 74 instead of down to 50. I think it's like down to 40. So it really helps to have that on there. But yeah, you don't want to get into armor, obviously, because they're going to just chew through you. So if you can avoid it, stay out of armor the best you can. And we're gonna run this in the Abyss here in just a minute, so you guys can kind of see how it works. Because the last thing I want you guys to do is go in there and not know how this works exactly. And I did develop a new tactic for it, specifically because it's not the Uber tank that I had before. So we're gonna kind of work on that. Now our navigation here, we get about 666 meters per second, which isn't too bad. My previous ship had somewhere closer to 700, 780. So it's definitely a downgrade, but it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to this ship. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about is weapons and your choice of weaponry. Now, the ship does get a bonus to kinetic and thermal missile damage, and if you're running any other type of Abyss other than the EM electrical Abysses, then those are absolutely a great weapon type to use. You can use like hammerheads, and they hit harder. However, keep in mind that with us running EM, we want EM damage hitting back at them, just because of that reduction in resistance. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and undock, and let's go ahead and go run that T5 so you can see how it's done. Alright, and we're back. Let's go ahead and drop into this filament. Now I like to make sure that I have about 3,000 missiles on hand whenever I start diving into the abyss, simply because I don't want to end up having an issue where as I dive in and such, I forget to have ammunition. Alright, first things first, all resistances, all shields on, and I start orbiting at 30 kilometers at this point, just because I don't want some of this extra damage to be able to hit me, especially because, like I said, this is not as good of a tank as my last ship. Launch drones and start taking ships out. Specifically, always take out the snare casters and the webifying ships first. From here, I allow my drones to just kind of open fire on whatever they choose to, just because of the fact that, oh, I missed one. Just because of the fact that they can kill them faster and easier if I'm not telling them what to do and what to kill. Alright, looks like my drone saw that I missed that snare caster and took him out for me. We're going to take some of these plate forgers out real fast, just because they do offer repairs to the other NPCs. I use my missiles for those primarily. Now from here, feel free to start splitting damage however you want to. I like to run my missiles on the same target and then have my drones all hitting different targets. But however you're going to do it, for a frigate spawn like this, you know, it's up to you. Don't be fooled about the frigates either, though. They can deal a considerable amount of damage. Oh my, what's this? An unstable extra large shield booster, multiplasmid. Alright, well that's the first time I've gotten one of those, but that's awesome. Alright, all hostiles are dead. Make sure to reload before every room and every chance you get. We're gonna go ahead and overload for one cycle, just to get there a little bit quicker. Now at this point we're less than 4 minutes in, we're 3 minutes 15 seconds in. Alright, here we go. We're starting to get some Vedemax. Let's go ahead and orbit at our 30 and start taking out these Tanglers. Next target is going to be Vedemax, specifically the Starving Vedemax, but we're going to target all of them. Alright, and we're being weapons jammed, so our effective flight range went from 32 to 21 kilometers. It's important to know that as well, because the last thing you want to do is be shooting at the 32 kilometers and, you know, you get your weapons jammed, so suddenly you can't shoot that far anymore. Alright, next target, we're going to take out this Starving Vedmak, specifically because he does have energy neutralization. And even though we're pretty stable over here at about 55% actually, just a little bit of energy disruption at this point from cruisers could break that. I'm not so worried about these frigates though. We have a drone here taking some serious damage. We're going to go ahead and return him to drone bay. So the drone's going to attack. Launch this one.
A module has run out of charges.
Alright, and you can see we restabilized, even though we've got a couple of energy neutralizers on us still. Let's go ahead and start closing our orbit to 20 instead of 30. And finish off the final Vedmak. Alright, now that the last Vedmak is down, we're going to go ahead and just approach the bioadaptive cache. Give our drones just a little bit of support over here with missiles. And let's crack that egg. Alright, second box. Not great loot, but not bad. Start pulling drones in and reload. And so far we're only at 12 minutes and 15 seconds left, so we're still under the 8-minute mark. Alright, final room, and we've got a few battleships in here. Let's go ahead and start engaging this guy here. And we're going to keep an eye on our drones because they're starting to get pretty low in durability due to these suppression towers that are going on. That's alright for now. Probably pull them in just a minute, let them regain some health while this other guy goes out and starts doing a little bit of damage. Let's go ahead and help our drones out.
Charges.
Alright, let's go ahead and start approaching the buyout cache. And get this all finished up. Now at this point we are still at just over 9 minutes, or just over 11 minutes that we've taken, which is not my best time that I've done, even in this fitting, but it's not bad at all. There we go. Start heading towards the gate. By the time we get there, we should be just about finished. Alright, you guys. That is the Abyss in a 1.8 billion ISK ship. You can do it in about 12 minutes, as you can see from the timer here on the top left side. Yeah, I hope this helps you guys out, because honestly, there's a lot of people that that want to do Abysses and just can't because they don't know anything about the Abyss in a lot of cases. And I want you guys to know that you can do it for decently cheap. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you only have 600 mil, or if you only have a couple of billion to be able to put into it, instead of the 10 billion that I had, 8 to 10 billion that I had into mine. I should probably also point out the fact that I actually have no currently have no augmentations. So I have no implants, no boosters, nothing like that. So this is all just raw ability of the ship itself. Anything else is literally just a bonus. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Crash Test Games. I hope it is very, very informative for you guys, and I hope it helps you out a ton. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.